Hello my lovelies, how have you guys all been doing? I have apparently continued to be bad at making videos. I know that October I really failed a lot, and it just seems to be rolling down the hill of November as well. It is halfway through November and I have not yet told you guys what I read in October and if I have a TBR. So we're going to do that today. The first book I read in October was Mortal Danger by Anne Aguirre. I really enjoyed it. I can't believe it took me to the 20th to finish. I don't know if I started it really soon, but I feel like I've been just picking up a bunch of books all at once. My Goodreads can attest to that because I'm currently reading, I think it says like 4 or 5 books. Though I haven't re-picked up a few of them for a while. One of them's kind of more of I hope I'm reading it, but I have no idea what's happening in it. I read about 50 pages and now I have to start again. But the first book I read in October was Mortal Danger and I really enjoyed it. I don't even think I wrote down star ratings in the month of October. I was really a poor reader, YouTuber, all of the things in October. But I kind of knew I would be for some reason. As soon as it starts getting cold and chilly and ugh, I just kind of fail. Ooh, I wrote 3.5 stars for Mortal Danger. I think the only reason why it didn't get a little bit higher was just it is a quick kind of cutesy read. I really enjoyed it. I like the premise of it. I'm really interested in continuing to read this series itself, as well as now I'm really excited to read I believe the other series that Anne Aguirre has is Razorland. I could be wrong because this was way better than I expected. So that was good. The next thing I finished was the audiobook of Assassin's Quest, which was the third and final book in that little trilogy of the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. That world continues in more of her books, and I plan on starting listening to those soon, but I've kind of changed course on what series I'm reading right now. Then lastly, I read the first and second book of this study series is what it's called. The first one's Poison Study, the second one is Magic Study. I read through them really quickly. I'm really enjoying the series. I believe there's 4 books in the first part of this series, and then it continues into like 2 other sub-book series, all based in the same world. The writer is Maria Schneider. Maria V. Schneider. I'm really enjoying them. We read them for our book club, so that was kind of where they came from, why we picked them. It's sort of nice sometimes to start reading a series that is done or mostly done, so you can really get into the world and then pout that you have to wait for more books. So those are the 4 books I finished in October. It was kind of pathetic. So far in November I have started Fire Study, which is the 3rd book in that series. I've started Fire Study, which is the 3rd book in the study series, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a little bit different than the first 2, and we'll see how I'm feeling about it by the end of the book. But that's what I've started so far. I am still working on Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. Again, this is one of those weird ones where I'm really slow getting into it because I seem to have forgotten a lot about the book, but it's a really weird memory not remembering, because when it comes to Selena's character, that's where I'm not remembering things from book 3, but when it comes to the Iron Teeth, is that what they're called? I really remember that part, so I'm halfway through the book and I feel like I need to do a reread of book 3. I'm still not remembering most of what happened in book 3 because book 4 is just not going very well for me. I've been really trying to get into Bloodsong, which was our book club book of the month, like August or September, I want to say. I'm not 100% sure how long it's been on my TBR, but I'm going to get into it at some point, maybe And lastly, I'm probably also going to try to finish So Anyways. I really thought that the John Cleese book would be a really quick read, but it starts out as him as a young child, and it's a bit slower than I anticipated, and maybe it'd be funnier if I was listening to it with him speaking or something. But right now I have got no drive to read it. I have been kind of driveless this last few months, and I mean, we'll see if we get anywhere with it. My biggest goals right now are not buying more books if I'm not reading them. I have given up, hopefully, 90% of my book buying being a physical copy, because my book pile is getting quite large. Well, it is quite large. It is quite large, and I can't justify buying books in a hardcover. Really, I can't justify the cost of physical books when I have my Kobo, and I've been finding more time to read the Kobo than physical books. Just realized I did not mention what I'm listening to for Audible this month. I've been listening to The Theft of Swords, whatever you want to call them, The Rhaenyra Revelations by Michael J. Sullivan. I've been listening to the audiobooks for these because, you know, I have every single possible version of these, so the audiobooks is what has won because I find I have more time to listen to books, so that's kind of the winning factor. Last week I had a migraine, so I could lay in the dark and listen to a book and not go mentally insanely bored, because that's what my migraines request, are the dark. So in the month of November, I am planning on reading like 4 physical books, maybe, and finishing at least book 3 of the Rhaenyra Revelations. I'm really enjoying them. I hope you guys are doing really great, and I will hopefully not suck next week and make you guys another video. I'm gonna have to make up for all the videos I've missed this year, especially in the last 2 months. I've been just a failure. But, you know, reasons. I will see you guys next week. I almost promise. Have a great week. Bye.